Cowboys to release Tony Romo Thursday, which means where will Romo play next year? It seems like the Broncos and the Texans would be the two that should be the most interested, namely the Broncos. Do you remember Peyton Manning?
I have a slight recollection of the guy.
Peyton Manning left
Big
the
fan of
Colts.
Budweiser.
Big fan of Budweiser. What about Papa John's?
Both.
Both?
Huge
Which
fan.
one do you like more, Papa John's or
The one
Budweiser?
that I like more?
Yeah.
I like Budweiser.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
I'm not a
Papa
big fan.
John's.
There's just so many other pizza alternatives I prefer.
I'm actually a
My
Domino's, more of a Domino's over Papa John's. They're both pretty bad overall.
Yes,
Sorry,
very true.
we're not getting any Papa John's or Domino's sponsorships anytime soon. I hope Pluto is not affected by this. Sorry, Pluto, if you are. But going forward, it seems like the Broncos are the right call for Tony Romo because, for one, I don't know about you guys, Paxton Lynch does not stand out to me as the quarterback for the future. They have a defense that is still elite. They have the Super Bowl MVP in Von Miller. They have players in their personnel. I'm not sure exactly what's gone on entirely with free agency in terms of the Broncos defense, but they're going to come back and they're still going to be able to compete. They also play in the toughest division in football. You got the Raiders and Derek Carr, who was an MVP candidate with a lot of weapons surrounding him. You have the Chiefs, which means that they will beat you in the regular season, but are guaranteed to completely botch it come the playoffs. So they're not really a threat in the postseason. They're just a threat in like week 12 on Monday Night Football to curb your chances of making the playoffs. But in terms of Romo, 37 years old. You know, you've seen what Romo can do. The Cowboys have moved on. Dak Prescott's their quarterback. Should he play for the Broncos?
I think that it fits when you're looking at Peyton Manning. I mean, you look at that Super Bowl winning season, and Peyton Manning did not have the best season, and their defense led them to that championship. And that is what, but the one thing that you can take away is that Peyton Manning, aside from his ability on the field to be able to make the plays that could go on and help them lead, is the experience that goes along with it, the maturity that you can't really buy. You need to bring someone in that's been around the bush and knows what it takes. Tony Romo, when fit, has the ability to do that.
Yes.
You, of course, it's like a package deal. You need to be well prepared. Just as you're running plays at practice, you need to be running plays simultaneously that's going to have to fit if Tony Romo's back goes out or anything else. You need to be prepared for that exchange. So I think it makes more of an obvious fit to have him go to a team like the Broncos, who could fit him in seamlessly to their offense and build around him and use him as a similar way that they used Peyton Manning, and specifically in that last year. As long as they maintain that dominant defense that they've had, I think it would be a good fit, because we know that I'm excited to see what the Cowboys are going to do now that that constant question mark has been removed. It was always that, can they do this and that with Tony Romo healthy? And now they've got a young, exciting quarterback that's going to help lead them with a young, phenomenal receiver and running back now that's going to be someone that you're going to be drawn in to watch. The Cowboys.
Talk about Zeke, yeah. So I just wanted to read you a couple of things from ESPN. For one, John Elway, president of football operations and general manager for the Broncos.
He wasn't a bad quarterback in his day.
He was not a bad quarterback in his day. A couple Super Bowl wins, a couple of big Super Bowl wins at the end of his career. Could have been marred as a guy who couldn't do it in the end. He got there a lot too. But Elway knows football, there's no doubt about that. But what he also knows is that the defense is good enough, as he said. It's more the idea of the challenge of, if they were to go out and pursue Tony Romo, they need to figure out the offensive line. Because more important, I would say, than getting Tony Romo would be, if you don't get Tony Romo, how do you protect Paxton Lynch?
Yeah.
And you know, if you give any quarterback enough time, they can move the football. Any quarterback, if you give them enough time, they will be able to put some points on the board, and some points with a good defense is sometimes all you actually need. For a while, Russell Wilson's beginning of his career was a guy that would get one touchdown on 10 of 16 completions for 130 yards, and he'd run for 20. I mean, we're not talking about flashy quarterback. When he won the Super Bowl, that's the type of quarterback he was. Now he's become way more of a dual threat, don't get me wrong. So in the Broncos case, if you get him, you got to figure out what to do with the offensive line. The draft is not necessarily deep with offensive linemen, and neither is free agency. But the thing that's weird about the Broncos is they're kind of a wild card when it comes to how they're going to try to win this next Super Bowl coming up this year. And if Tony Romo is healthy for 16 games, and you can get him through the playoffs with that defense, I don't see why they wouldn't be a contender. They're going to be challenged in their division by good quality teams. That's a big thing going forward. So if you can come out of that division, you're already in good position to beat other good teams in the league. But also, it's like the opposite of what you're taught to build a football team. You need a quarterback, a franchise quarterback. Dak Prescott, you need him for 15 years to lead you to multiple Super Bowls. So if this were to work, you would have gotten one out of Peyton Manning at the last little juices of Peyton Manning, and you might get one at least playoff run with the little juices left of Tony Romo. And then what do? You're in the same position, but you could have theoretically 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, you're not going
to your name. At that point, the fan base would be like, well, screw it. We don't care. We got our Super Bowls.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to question the method you took to get there. You're going to look at the rings and you're going to look at the success and be like, well, why aren't more teams doing what we're doing? I mean, I think that you could pick and choose your successes based on that methodology either way. Like, you get someone like the Patriots and you look at Tom Brady and you're like, all right,
just give me a Tom Brady.
That's the way we should be looking at this. Let's just find the next Tom Brady, and then for the next 10, 15 years, we'll just have a choice of whatever ring we want to wear that day. But when it comes to teams that often are trying to get that quick success, no one really does it better than the Broncos, I don't think, because they have the ability to bring in someone who's got the experience and they build a system around them. And you mentioned they protect them. That's one of the most important things. Tony Romo is not durable, and we know this. So you got to protect him.
Yeah, even with the Cowboys' amazing offensive line, he got hit a lot, and it only took one with Romo. So I guess there's a lot of what ifs, but I know it's a lot of money. It's like, what is it, $24.5 million for the year? It's a big gamble, but I'm a gambler, so roll the dice.
And what's the alternative? That's the other thing.
Paxton Lynch, I believe.
Do you rely on Paxton
Am
Lynch?
I missing someone? Trevor Siemian, but it would be Paxton Lynch who they go with. Dan, is it Trevor Siemian who's the other player?
No, who's Osweiler? Who's he play with?
Oh, he's on the Houston Texans, but if you're the Texans, man, you just got to go to the press and be like, look, we done fucked up. Thank you for watching TYT Sports on PLUTO TV. Make sure to check out the other TYT Network shows on PLUTO. There's a whole plethora of them, from TV shows, TV review shows, to political, to just watch the sports, though. In general, we're the best, so we'll keep it at that.